Hey folks, thank you for watching. This is a new video on a 1980 KZ1000 LTD. It's been sitting around for a long time and finally getting around to working on it. So thank you for watching. Well, let's take a look at this one. This is a 1980 KZ1000 LTD, which I stupidly bought off of Facebook. It was advertised as engine was flooded, like got water in it, and it wouldn't start. And it had the picture in the Facebook ad had nice, beautiful blue paint. I forget what I paid for it. It was too much. I actually didn't have time to go get it. It was down in New York City. I sent someone down in New York City to get it for me. And I said, if there's something wrong with the paint, let me know. Call me. Don't pick it up. Because I'm buying it because it had nice paint. And sure enough, the guy brings it back to me. And the gas tank had a big dent in the side of it. And the back tail fin was ripped off. I said, what the hell? He's like, oh, the guy said he told you about that. So then I have a bike that doesn't have an engine that runs and it's got screwed up paint. And what am I going to do? Return it? You know, I think I paid the kid $500 or $600 to go get it. Anyway, the exhaust had water in it. The Kirker, which is over there on top of that shelf. So I took the exhaust off and I took the wadding out of the exhaust and I cleaned the spark plugs and put it on a remote fuel thing, and it started right up and it seemed to run okay. So I was like, all right, well, at least the engine runs. So then I had paid somebody to paint, to fix the gas tank dent and paint it. And I have that paint set and it's just been sitting around as I, kind of let things sit around. So, I think the brakes work. I think the front brake was starting to get a little caught up because it's just been sitting around a lot. There's something wrong with the electronics. The switches here, these switches are brand new, but they're not the exact replacement. So I had some wiring issues with them. I know the switch that was on here originally, the starter button didn't work. So I've got some other... There's some things hanging around here. It did run at one point. I remember I was having a problem with the light and the high-low beam, and then the turn signals were giving me a problem. So I think this goes to this. And anyway, to make a long story short, there's something up with the electrical. So I have to go through the electrical on it and get the lights and stuff to work. I did actually get this bike registered, and I had a Massachusetts title for it, which I turned in when I got it registered. And I have to go through this process where they send an inspector out and check the bike. They check the VIN number on the frame to verify that the bike exists and it's not stolen and all that. So I have 6 months to do that from when I got it registered, which was like a month and a half or 2 months ago. So I'm kind of running out of time. It's the same thing for the 71 SL 125, which is under the cover there. So I want to try to make some progress on this. Showing electrical troubleshooting is super boring. I don't know how much of that I'll show. Yeah, needs some help. It also has no turn signals on it. The guy stripped the turn signals off it for some reason. And even they even, like you can see right here, well, you can't see it, I can feel it. That's where the mount for the turn signal used to be, is right there. They ground it off and it's gone. So I bought something to put in for the turn signals. And the taillight was on it. I think that's in here. It's in one of these boxes. Those are the carbs. Anyway, I got to go through and and figure out what's what. So I got to find the turn signals, mount those up, and put the headlight back in, find out what works, what doesn't work. And I'll have a brand new battery, which is right here. I'm pretty sure it did charge. So I need to do a bunch of electrical work, but my goal is to put the exhaust back on. It has this nice Corbin seat, this racing seat, which is really cool. Got some mold on it. But, it's a really cool looking seat for it. I want to just slap I was going to paint the exhaust. I just put it back on, put the carbs on it, get it running, driving, and get the paint set back on it, just so it's all complete. And then when I go to sell it, I'll probably just wash the tires up, the wheels up really good. It has nice tires on it. Wash that stuff up and paint the exhaust and get rid of it. But for now, my goal is to just get it all put back together. I've got parts for it all over the place, and as I moved from Massachusetts down here, I misplaced some of them. That's some of the stuff. I think I know where the other stuff is. But that is my goal, to just kind of get this one back together so I can get the inspector over here and have them verify it's a working motorcycle, and they'll approve the title. So, with that being said, I will bring you back when I get to an interesting part. So I had bought these to hang on the rear turn signals. Where is it? So something like that. But there's two holes here that line up with these two holes in the back, and these holes line up with these. So it's supposed to go like that. But we can't go like that if this is here, because this is sticking up. See? So I think what I'm going to have to do is maybe just cut this off and try to weld it right on under here. Maybe that'd be the easiest thing to do. I'll have to see. Alright, so I think I have a solution. This is the space I have to work with. Somewhere along the line I bought this for this project, and I think it slips right under there. So this has a license plate holder, and it has these little ears that I can put the turn signals in. And here's the tail light. Somebody had made these brackets, and I turned them upside down, and I think that if I mount that like that, I'll have these two pieces of aluminum to work with, and I can get this mounted just like that with some kind of washer or something, and I think that'll work. This goes like this, right? So I have my illumination for the plate holder here. Yeah, that should work. So why don't I try to mock this all up? I found more parts, like the emblems, and some other stuff, which is the stuff to put the exhaust on. And where was it? There was here. This is a kit of all the bushings, I think, that I need to put this on. So this is a unfinished one that I had extra laying around, but it's the same as the one that's going to go on the bike. So I can put the bushings on, mount it all up, and make sure it works. Alright, well, two of the turn signals came with the ground wire, and two of them did not, so I'll have to make two ground wires. So you've got a big eyelet on one end and a bullet connector on the other. So, that's a wire.
The charter, the Avenue charter, it's only for middle school, right? Okay.
Some heat shrink. Okay, and then the bullet part. Alright. Alright, well, I think that pretty much is going to look okay. Bike's tilted. Looks like this isn't quite right. Something like that. I think that's going to look good. So that took like 2 hours. This is what happens when you take things apart and buy parts and wait 2 years until you do anything with it. Alright, so I showed the back. The front, I didn't really show the work, but they had this rusty headlight holder on it. It's aftermarket chrome ring. I took this off, took some Scotch-Brite and WD-40 to it, cleaned up pretty good. New stocks, new turn signals. This is a new headlight bracket that had a hole in it that was big enough for the stock. So that's the mount, the front mount. And there's the rear, and I put the battery in it, and this is where I left off, is the signals are working. And right signal. Okay, and then parking lights, they come on in the front. And I have a tail light and a license plate light there. It's kind of dim. And then if I put the brake on, brake light. So the brake light's working. Pretty much a lot of it's working. And if I So it kicks over. I don't know if it has spark. Like I said, it did run. So I have to figure out the horn. I have to figure out what's up with all this. There was something wrong with it. I don't remember what. I suspect it's going to come in with the headlight. There was something where I was convinced that I needed an extra relay to run the headlight. And this is like a cheat circuit that I made, because normally they have this big box which is like a emergency headlight thing, which never seems to work on these anymore because they're old. But whatever, made a lot of progress. That was about 4 hours of work, a lot of finding parts to use, stuff that I had bought already. Like, for instance, I bought this fender and taillight holder off of eBay because I wanted something to stick in here because there's nothing here. So maybe I'll make up a piece of plastic for an inner fender, or I could, if this will fit, it might fit, I could just cut this off and bolt it in place, and it would kind of serve as a tail light, just a mud guard, basic mud guard. But it looks pretty good. I'm satisfied, and now I'm going to clean up, and that is the first work I've done out here in the garage in months since I played with the Z1R. Anyway, I've located the horn wires. The bike didn't have a horn, so I'm going to cut it off for some stupid reason, just like it didn't have any turn signals. So I'm going to put some ends on these wires. One. Right. Okay, so like I said, electrical work is super boring. I just spent about, I don't know, an hour trying to figure out the last part of this where I left off 2 or 3 years ago. I was trying to figure out how to get the headlight to come off of power from this wire. And this wire is into this plug. This plug would have contained this thing called the headlight, what's it called? Headlight reserve light switch. It's some module that is supposed to control when the light comes on or something. Who cares? It doesn't exist anymore. I don't know how the guy had it working when he was driving it, if he had the headlight working at all. Anyway, what I figured out 3 years ago is I had to get these relays. So I got a thing of these relays like 3 years ago. I spent another 45 minutes looking for them because I had put them on I had them on a shelf in the garage at the other shop, and of course packed them and stuck them in with some KZ1000 stuff. It took me forever to remember that, but I found them anyway. So the trick is to get this fuse to control the headlight, just the headlight, not all the parking lights and stuff. So when you turn this on and it's off, Speedo and TAC has their backlight. You turn this on, the parking lights come on, and then if you put this on, it puts power to this. But I didn't have a way to get power from there to equal power from this one, because this one just always has power when the switch is on. So that's why I needed the relay. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but the long and short of it is, if I turn it on, listen. That clicks, and then the headlight comes on. So now it has headlight. So I got to make some wires for this. So I got to wire this relay into the system. I'll mount it in here, I think. Probably just on a zip tie or whatever. And then that part of the electrical is done. I don't know if it has spark. Like I said, it did used to run. Let me just check that real quick. Let's see. Yes, I see spark. Awesome. So it does have spark. Okay. So that should be it for the electrical. Yeah. All right, well, put the exhaust back on this. Let's see. I did put new donuts in. This garage, there's spiders all over it. Okay, this isn't gonna work. I gotta put these on first. Okay. It's like nothing to start. right? There we go. Okay. Alright, so I gotta do that 3 more times. Alright, so now I gotta put the silencer on. And you might think I would have lost the parts to the silencer to mount it, but it's the importance of bagging stuff. That's obviously the bar they came up with. And don't know why I have all this stuff. Obviously 2 of these. One of them for the muffler. This, I know where that goes. There. Let's put it on to where it was, right around there. Okay, so now I see what this must have been for. So this must have been what they came up with. Yeah. So yeah, the passenger pegs are usually there's passenger peg things here, like on the Z1R. You see what I did on the Z1R? I mounted the Kirker to the passenger peg. But they've cut that off on this, so that's why they have this thing. So obviously they're going from like there, like that, I guess. Or like that. Or like that. Or like, it's not like that. Okay. So it's like that-ish. No, this is the part that goes down here. So it's like this. Okay, so it goes like that, and then they turn this out a little bit. There we go. Like that, and they mount this bracket onto this thing here. So I need a nut and bolt. Those are M6. That might be M. That's an M6. So that's for the bottom. But it's got an M8 hole. Yeah, I'll come up with something. Okay, now this one. What is that? 12? 11? Not sure. I don't know why these are 11. But they are. All right, here we go. Okay, so the exhaust is back on. All right, well, I know it runs, but I guess I could spray some starting fluid in it and watch it go vroom. Maybe I'll do that. Yes, welcome to the exciting world of motorcycle restoration. Worked through a whole bunch of problems on it, did a little fabrication, and brought it along some way. Like I said, it is registered, and we'll finish it up, I think, in part 2.